associated by the case of Anti-Corruption Commission versus Bennett Development Corporation of the Supreme Court of Zambia. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to state that indeed it is good to have ambition, but ambition that beats logic.
This is a great debate. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Those that are joining us on Facebook, as everyone else knows, this isn't the final. It's just the second semi-final. Ladies and gentlemen, only one of these teams will proceed to the final.
We are a third world generation, not because we have chosen to be, but because the mighty opposition have decided to mislead this august house into an amazed phantasmagory, despondence, and melancholy. Respect to whom it is due and all diplomatic etiquette be highly observed. The motion under microscopic scrutiny clearly states as articulate. This house believes that Zambia should prioritize real estate investment trust. We are going to make sure to say that even a parent out there who is in Shangombo, a youth who is there in Kasempa, as well as members of the old term, a student who is there in Northwestern, they will be able to invest, also members of the old term, and have a hand in these shares assembled intellectuals. Members of the old term, as the government, we are more with regards to us basically investing in our country. If other countries, members of the old term, are able to do it, why not we, the government of Zambia, not bringing it in our country? Vision 2030, as my current speaker Eddie alluded, is that leaving no one behind is our notion as a country, assembled intellectuals. Another thing that they talked about, members of the old term, we heard their third speaker talking about an aspect of, an individual enjoying their title being honored by them, members of the old term. But one thing that I have to make mention to this, assembled intellectuals, allow me to quote from Financial Insight Zambia, and I quote, Banda noted that Zambia's rates journey is not only about unlocking real estate value, but also about creating a new asset class that broadens participation in the country's capital markets. In that particular perspective, members of the old term, they quoted about the constitution, which also guarantees the right of participation. And assembled intellectual for us standing here as the government, also calling upon our people in the nation to participate in terms of them investing, members of the old term, it is not a bad thing. The president Hakainde Hichilema, assembled intellectuals, has always invited the Zambian people on the table and encouraged them to invest, that one day what they're investing in, it is going to reap. May the good Samaritan pass this to the judges for further verification. Assembled intellectuals, members of the auditorium, allow me to quote from the Real Estate Investment Zambia PLC, and I quote, rates by nature will allow us to access a wider pool of potential investors, including institutional funds, pension funds, foreign and individual investors seeking exposure to real estate assets. Members of the auditorium, may the good Samaritan pass this to the judges for further verification. Assembled intellectuals, members of the auditorium, my other speaker talks about the boost investor confidence in that particular perspective. If at all we want to attract investors as a nation, and that is the way forward that we need, that indeed our nation is bettered in that regard, members of the auditorium, we need to put all these things in place. There is what we call investment. Assembled intellectuals, members of the auditorium, we have heard the submissions of the opposition. Ours is to recommend that indeed each and every person reaps with regards to the shares, and we call upon all the